Well, we're in the middle of the fall season right now, and as a church, it can be really easy to kind of focus on the end of the year Christmas time and make sure that we have all of our preparations in place for that time. But by doing that, we oftentimes just glaze over Thanksgiving, and maybe in service we'll say Happy Thanksgiving, and we're thankful for what the Lord is doing, and that's great. But I feel like it's a missed opportunity that can sometimes just pass us by. So I jumped on a call with Thomas and Ian, and we talked about some creative ways that we can celebrate Thanksgiving within our church during this season. All right, guys, well, before we get started, I'll introduce myself here. I'm David. I'm the head video editor here at ReachRight, and we like to make content like this all the time that's designed to help out church leaders and churches just like yours. So if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, just hit that subscribe button, because then you'll get notified every single time that we put out a new video that's designed to help out people just like you. But speaking of helping out churches, I really like these ideas that you guys are about to talk about here on how churches can be celebrating the Thanksgiving season, because this isn't just exclusive to one Sunday service on a Sunday morning behind the pulpit. This is ways that congregations can get involved, and ideas that you can be preparing for really the whole month of November, I guess. But this is just a way that I think people can kind of implement different ways that churches can get involved outside of just the sanctuary, basically. So I'll let you guys kind of take off here, but this first idea is a community outreach, kind of getting out there outside of the church, really, but I'll let you talk about it, Thomas.
This is a time or a reason to get out into your community and do something that actually can make an impact for people. I think this is something that is on the top of people's minds within your church. I think if there's one time a year, it's probably Thanksgiving, maybe into Christmas a little bit, but it's just a great chance for you to encourage your people. They're probably going to be more receptive this idea of getting involved in service, whether it be some kind of a helping with the homeless population in your community there, or helping with kids that don't have the kind of means that maybe people within your church have. Doing some of those kinds of things, people are going to be more receptive to doing that in this season than any other time.
We give people the opportunity to sponsor a family and purchase their whole Thanksgiving meal. So you can do that as a way to give, but here's what you can also do. You can not only sponsor and pay for it, you can actually take it to their address personally and give them their whole Thanksgiving meal. I will tell you that I took my whole family and kids to do this, and boy, did it not only touch my heart, but it touched my kids' hearts and meant so much, made them so thankful, made them get outside of themselves to be able to go and just see someone's face light up who gets a Thanksgiving meal provided for them in a tough time in their life. So really good stuff.
Now, this second idea is a traditional or classic idea that churches have done a lot, but there's a reason that people continue to do it. So we might not be blowing anybody's minds here, but it's a donation drive or a charity fundraiser of some sort.
We would do this every year at the church I was pastoring most recently. We had an enormous canned good, and not just canned good, we raised all kinds, like people would bring fresh vegetables and stovetop stuffing and other stuffing type things, all kinds of Thanksgiving related stuff. And we actually partnered with a local community center in our community there. I think it's not a great idea to do it just as your own church, especially if you're a smaller church. I think it's best to partner with someone else that's doing this, but then be involved with the actual event itself where you give this stuff away. Because I actually, as the pastor of our church at this community center, I got to be the guy that greeted all the cars that pulled in there and got to connect with all kinds of people, help them. I was the first impression they all had at the community center. So yeah, huge opportunity, I think. So anything you can do to partner with local community centers on this, I think it goes a long way.
Now, I kind of alluded to this at the beginning, but the reason that I like this idea especially is because it's something that doesn't have to be exclusive to an event or just one day. This can be done throughout the whole month.
This is basically, there's a few ways you could do it. I've heard it called like a Thanksgiving tree, which is kind of, I guess, a play on Christmas tree or something, or a gratitude board, something like that. But it's an idea where people from within your church can write down on a piece of paper or a leaf, I guess if it's a tree, and they can write down something that they're thankful for. So it's something, I think this is a really great idea for churches with lots of families. It's something that your kids can get involved in, and just helping them remember what Thanksgiving is all about here. So taking that chance to do that, and then having a spot in your church dedicated to these, basically they're almost like praise reports, right? It's like Thanksgiving and praise is kind of the same thing. And so they're writing down, hey, this is what I'm thankful for this year. You would have a tree or a board in your church, a dedicated space. People can write down something they're thankful for and put it on there. And they can do it anonymously if it's something that it's more private to them. But in most cases, they'll be fine to write their name. But it's so amazing to see just an overwhelming display of people's gratitude, thanksgiving, and praise really to the Lord, to what he's done for us. And I think it's a really cool idea for churches to jump on.
This next one kind of comes off as a no-brainer, but it's one of those things where unless we actually talk about it and intentionally plan for it to happen, sometimes we can go by without even thinking about it or it ever happening, and that's just kind of a missed opportunity.
Bringing in testimonies, I think a lot of times in churches, we're looking for opportunities to share more testimonies. And sometimes we just need to be prompted in our hearts to remember to share testimonies. You have a shorter message, and then you invite 5 people maybe each to give a 2 to 3 minute testimony. And you know, I'd encourage you to say 90 seconds, knowing that it's going to be 3 minutes when you do that. But you have a kind of a testimony time where people share what God has done. Here's what he's done. Here's what I'm thankful for.
Or it could be, you know, video testimonials too, that you just play throughout the month of November. You mix one in each service, and I think also to the point of a testimony, and not only is everyone always thankful in a testimony, which is good, it takes the attention off the pastor too, and it brings out, you know, your members, you know, and sharing what God has blessed them with, it, and not just coming from you as the pastor, you know, from the pulpit.
And I'm a fan of this last one because I know there's a lot of people out there that do really challenging jobs and things that help out the community, but they don't really ever get thanked or appreciated for it. And this is a really easy way to make sure that that happens, and it can come from your church.
Deployed veterans, or even just people that are local there, your fire department, your police department, people that are within there, nurses, doctors, people that serve the community in those ways. One year, right around this time, we actually ordered a lunch for all the teachers at our local high school. It was a big expense. We went to, I think it was Subway or a sandwich shop, something like that. And it was back when, you know, we worked out a deal and we paid probably $6 or $7 per teacher. And so it cost us a good chunk to execute this here, but what a blessing it was to them. And you better believe that they remember, oh yeah, that's the church that meets right down here. And they bought us lunch that one time. That was really nice of them when they did that for us there. Just a way to say thank you.
All right, well, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I hope you got some creative ideas so you don't just kind of glaze over the month of November and then waltz into the Christmas season. That's kind of what my church tends to do sometimes, and I know it's really easy to do from a leadership perspective if you don't get ahead of the game. So hopefully this video helped you in that regard. If these ideas are something that you really liked, let me know in the comments down below which ones you liked, or any ideas we didn't cover that your church has done that were proven to be really successful. But either way, we'll see you guys in the next one.